Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to Panacea Sundays. If you guys don't know what Panacea Sundays are, we get to the root, illness, and cause of all disease, physically, spiritually, mentally. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Coco, spiritual coach and life coach. Just someone here to help you out on this thing called life. If you guys tuned in last week, we did talk about healing techniques and meditations and different type of aromatherapy and crystals and essential oils that you can use. So go back and check on that video if you are someone that is dealing with your sacral chakra and trying to get things back into balance. This week we're going to be talking about emotional healing for the sacral chakra. So first of all, I was like, what does that even mean? What are chakras? Let's go back and talk about it. So the chakra system and the significance of the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is a system in ancient that has, let me slow down. The chakra system is an ancient concept that describes the interconnected energy centers in our body. The sacral chakra is located in the lower abdomen and is associated with emotions, creativity, sensuality, and pleasure. It plays a vital role in our overall well-being and balance. So getting to that, yes, this week we're going to be talking about, if you guys see me looking over here, I'm just looking at my notes. This week we're going to be talking about understanding the connection between emotions and the sacral chakra, exploring emotional blockages and traumas, techniques for releasing and healing emotional wounds, journaling exercises for self-reflection and emotional healing, and creative practices to stimulate the chakra energy. And so I think a really good overall what we're going to talk about today is pretty much the decisions that you make and the decisions that you don't make to help heal this wound that we have. Again, it is located where our hips are at, but it is also located like in the part that has your belly button in between like your pelvis. That's where usually a lot of the times we were speaking in the videos before, when usually we really like something or we have like a gut feeling, we think that our stomach is lower next to our belly button, but it's actually higher. So that gut feeling doesn't really come from your stomach. It comes from the sacral chakra. And a lot of the times, your solar plexus, things are kind of, it's going to make you feel like you're not making the right decision, or maybe you're not happy, or maybe you have like a lack of motivation. Sometimes I feel what happens in the root chakra is you get easily intimidated as well when you see other people enjoying things that you don't really understand, or things that you also want to do. And that's a lot of where the envy and jealousy comes into play as well. And so, yeah, let's get into it. Let's see what we have. So, techniques for balancing and clearing the sacral chakra. Various practices can help balance and clear the sacral chakra. These may include meditation, visualization, energy healing, and breath work. Engaging in these techniques can help remove blockages and restore the healthy flow of energy in the sacral chakra. So if you guys look back in the last video that I had, we did some yoga poses. This week we're going to talk about certain type of meditations we did, and we also did a meditation and some affirmations at the end of that video. Some techniques that I would find very helpful for meditation and visualization are, it's not going to be the same as this, but you're going to want to do things that are outside of your spectrum. So if you're not a crafty person, you're going to want to start doing things that involve your hands, or, you know, maybe you're a visual person. Maybe you need to watch somebody else do it and then you can do it. Maybe you're someone that just needs to be hands-on. But a lot of healing your sacral chakra is doing things that are outside of your field of comfort. And the reason why I say that is because once you start doing things that are outside of your spectrum, I have a very strong feeling that a lot of you guys who are watching this video usually go to work, come home, watch some TV, and then go to sleep, and then you're on a repeat cycle. And then maybe on the weekends you go hang out with your friends, or you think that the weekends are a really good time for you to kind of like hang loose. And I hate to say it, but that's kind of working to live. And staying in that mindset, you're only giving yourself pretty much 2 days to do the things that you want to do. And most of the days, and most of the time, one of the days is dedicated to chores. So if you are someone that is looking to heal your sacral chakra wound, I'll just kind of say, get out of that spectrum of you feeling like you going to work and coming home are the only things that you are designed to do. Maybe you can go for a hike. Maybe you should invest into a bike. Maybe you should walk around your neighborhood. Maybe you can invite friends. If you're someone that doesn't like to do things alone, invite a friend to do something. But a lot of this is going to take the effort of you just trying something. It doesn't matter what you try, you just have to try something. And the reason why you should go outside of that spectrum of your comfortability is because once you get into a space where you can understand that these are the things that I like, and well, let's start back with the root chakra, right? So the root chakra is about the things that we need and the things that we want. Moving into your sacral chakra, you need to be informed on the things that you like and the things that you don't like. Because if you're someone that is saying, okay, let me go outside my field of spectrum of things, she told me to try something new, and you know you literally hate being around people, that's one way to look at it, as you being outside your spectrum, but you already know that you don't like people. So it's not forcing you to do something that you don't like to do. It's trying something new so you can indicate whether you like it or not. So whether it is, again, going hiking, going to any type of, maybe there's some clubs in your area, maybe there's a book club. My friend started a book club. I didn't join because I don't have a lot of time to just sit back and read and like understand what I'm reading sometimes, unless it's just a straight facts book. I'm more of like a non-fictional reader. I don't really like to read for the mystery or, yeah, nonfiction. I was like, let me see what I have. Yeah, this is what we have. And to be honest, you guys, I read the wrong one because we're in week 3, I'm sure. So that's why it's seeming so familiar. So let's get into week 3. Understanding the connection between emotions and the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is closely linked to our emotions. Exploring the connection involves understanding how emotions impact the flow of energy in the sacral chakra, and how imbalances in the chakra can affect our emotional well-being. That was a lot of words, right? So I'm going to break it down to you. The reason why this chakra is so linked to our emotions is because if you don't understand yourself, again, the first chakra is about stability and security and making sure that you're just good as a person. Like, whether I'm mentally, physically, emotionally not okay, at least I know that I'm alive and this is who I am and this is what I'm doing. So that's going to be your root chakra. And then the sacral chakra is going to have everything to do with, okay, now I'm at this place where I'm just here. What do I do next? And so again, reaching outside of yourself and doing things like meditation and figuring out what you want and your likes and your don't and the things that you dislike are going to be very important. Because when dealing with your emotions, if you're someone that is overly emotional or under the emotion, I don't know, I guess if you're someone that doesn't show a lot of emotions or you're scared to show a lot of emotions, this is going to be the time when you are doing these tasks or going hiking or doing these just activities outside of yourself. There might be some experiences that come up. A lot of the time when people say you should work on yourself and start with painting and start with this, and it just seems like, okay, well, that's what kids do, or, you know, I haven't done that since I was a kid. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring that kindred spirit back out of you so you can have more creativity, so you can have more visualization, so you can be someone that is creative on the spectrum of you creating for yourself. So you're not always taking outside ideas and then kind of using them. You're going to be able to be in a space where the idea is going to come to you. You're going to write it down. You're going to execute it. And it all comes from within. It's not going to be asking people like, what do you think about this? Or what would you do if you were in my situation? And I think just doing that, it gives you a lot of confidence. It gives you a lot of certainty, because when the messages when the messages are coming from inside and the ideas are coming from inside, you feel that much more confident. And I will say, if you are someone that is going to try to be creative and share it with other people, not everyone is going to see your vision. So just be very aware of going on this journey and dealing with your emotions and doing things that are outside of yourself and that don't make you feel comfortable, that not everyone's going to understand your journey and your process. You also might have some difficulties expressing yourself and telling them, like, I don't know why I feel this way, or, you know, after I drew that picture, there was just like a overwhelm of like, you know, sadness that came, or sorrow, or maybe you did go out and you went to go have fun with your friends, and then when you went home, you just felt like icky, or you felt like, you know, you're very overly promiscuous, or and I think that once you start to become more in tune with the sacral chakra, there won't be so much judgment on the things that you're doing, because literally this is the chakra that lets you live life. The area that this chakra lies in is a very prevalent area, because I'm not sure which organs are there. I'm going to have to look it up. But it is a part of like our, I'm pretty sure, small intestine, and then moving in, if you're a woman, your ovaries; if you're a man, like your testicles, I guess, like whatever connects to the urethra tubes. There's just a lot going down there that it's I don't even know. It's complex. So I'm not here for anatomy. I'm here to teach you guys about the chakras, okay? So how imbalances in the chakra can affect your emotional well-being. So I will say, if the chakra is unbalanced, you feel undesirable, you'll feel a lack of motivation, you'll feel maybe some fatigue and some anxiety. Again, that jealousy and envy comes into play, because you're judging other people on the outside of what they're doing and how they can accomplish things, but not so much creating the life for yourself. So I feel like if you don't do small hobbies, and you don't do things that are outside of that 1, 2, 3, 4, you waking up, coming home, watching TV, eat, and go to sleep, if you're not careful with stepping outside of that routine, you could put yourself into a deeper, like, unhealed traumatic moment. And so let me give you an example of that. If you're someone that's just like, okay, I want to work on myself, I'm going to start with these chakras, I'm going to start yoga, I'm going to start meditating, and you don't have a sense of where you're at emotionally, and you're just doing things off of impulse, you might run into, let's say, your ex. You might run into, someone that you got into a fight with before, and you're not going to know how to handle your emotions. And because everything's going so great, and you're so open, and you're so free, and you're so willing to try things, you are not I hate to say it, but you're not in a space where you're caring so much about what's happening around you or what you're attracting to you. Because when you start to heal this chakra, you do start to get a lot of more, well, you get more energy, but then also people who you have ties with in your life can feel that energy. Like, most of the time, if you're someone that doesn't talk to a lot of people, obviously I'm not talking to you. So if you're like myself and you probably talk to like 3 people throughout the whole week, it's not really for you. This is for the people who have to talk to their coworkers, have to talk to their parents, have to talk to, I don't know, maybe their favorite aunt. Maybe you have kids that you talk to. Maybe you have friends, and you have 5 different friends that you need to call for 5 different things, and you're just in the fucking mix. You're in the mix. And sometimes telling these people, because it's like energy is like a telephone game. So when you're feeling good and you tell someone else that they feel good, depending on where they're at, if they cannot agree, or they have ill intentions of you feeling good, most likely it's going to cause a disturbance in your energy. You're going to be like, oh, well, that was kind of weird, but I'm just going to brush it off. And then you go to the grocery store, and then you bump into somebody that you 100%, maybe you scammed somebody in the past, and you run into them, and you're like, oh, this is like super unexpected. And so this happens when you don't have this happens when you don't have an understanding of where your emotions are at and how to balance them. And so another example of that is, if you're someone that feels like you're not desired, and you're around people maybe who have really high confidence, and you hang around them, of course, because they have really high confidence, but you're someone that doesn't, that jealousy and that envy can kind of turn into like, is this a competition? Like, you shouldn't be having competition with your friends or the people around you unless it's a playful competition and the other person is aware. So if you're in a space where you're like, okay, well, I'm around all these great people, but I just don't feel like myself, and nobody wants to come talk to me at the party, and I'm not getting these offers, and I'm not getting these opportunities, most likely you have an unhealed trauma in your sacral chakra. And what that looks like from the outside is when your friends have good news and you're not happy for them, or you'd be like, oh, I wish that was me. Like, why can't you focus on their happiness for like 1 second? That just lets me know that how you talk to yourself is also a really big point. I don't know if I'm going to do affirmations this week with you guys. If it calls me to, I will. But I definitely think that talking to yourself and talking to yourself kindly is the #1 way how to kind of boost that self-esteem. Kind of like hearing yourself tell yourself these words, because a lot of times if you're waiting for someone to give you any type of compliment or recognition, their words might not be the same of what you need to hear. And sometimes you need to tell yourself this stuff, because I hate to say it, most likely you might not hear it from the people that are around you, even from the people that you love. So again, those imbalances look like jealousy in your friends and opportunities in the people around you, talking negatively upon yourself, thinking that things are just stupid, thinking like having a lack of energy, having a lack of creativity. And the only way to balance these things out is if you genuinely start something at home. I'm not saying go out and jump into the world and get into like the next person's bed and just have the time of your life, but to bring back a more kindred spirit and a more like childlike energy, you do have to do things that are kind of like a kid. Maybe you need to go to a park and go have some fun, go hula hoop outside, do something that maybe you have done as a kid and it might be perceived in a different way. Okay, so what do we have next? Because my iPad's gonna die. Exploring the emotional blockages and traumas that affect the sacral chakra. Emotional blockages and traumas such as past relationships, childhood experiences, or societal conditioning can impact the sacral chakra. Identifying and addressing these blockages are crucial for healing and restoring a healthy flow of emotions and creativity. So I'm gonna let you guys know off the back right now, social media probably has you in a chokehold. Social media is telling you that you need to live your life one way. You're supposed to be making a lot of money. If you're not making a lot of money, you're supposed to have a side hustle. If you don't have a side hustle, you're not doing shit right now. And I'm going to let you guys know 100% that is all a lie. And because I am someone that lives like this quote unquote entrepreneurial life, a lot of the times that I feel like people that thought I was successful or I'm really doing something that's outside of my spectrum, I was just doing things that I liked and it led me into rooms where I can do it more. So when you are looking at yourself and you are on social media, be very aware that sometimes people's life looks like that because genuinely they like what they're doing. For myself, and know it looks like I'm doing a lot on the outside, but like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, what do I want to do today? And if I get to share any information that I've learned with you guys, or if I go to a photo shoot, or if I go hang out with my friends, or I decide to work out, it's something that I genuinely want to do. And I usually only try to make steps that are gonna be better for my future. And I'm not saying everyone is gonna be at that level, but let's go back to that theory that I had with the McDonald's diet. So if you guys don't know the McDonald's diet, we've been using it for like the past 6 weeks on the person who has the McDonald's diet. They usually don't have the money. Whether they have the money or not, they just like living on the McDonald's diet. They like eating fast food. They like eating processed food. They don't care what type of anything that goes into their body, whether it's media, listening to people, anything like that. So they're just on a diet of lack. And I feel we have the person who is halfway, that's on the fence, half healthy. They have the money to kind of like make better decisions but they're also stuck in the past of like, okay, well, I'm just being lazy right now. So they're in the process of halfway committing. And a lot of us can kind of say that, and it's a full spectrum. So it's like, there are even the subcategories of these three people. There's subcategories of people who are kind of on the, this diet, working on like being the half person. Then we have the person who's half working on things. And then we have the person who's half going back to like half working on things, but majorly like healthy. So let's talk about this healthy person and the decisions that they're making. Because a lot of the people, if you're going to try to heal yourself and you're trying to understand yourself at an emotional level, sometimes you do need therapy. And this is just me saying, you guys, these are all recommendations. I'm not a doctor. These are things that I would just recommend based off my own experience and what I've learned, and what I went to school and just around other people and my mentor. And I think it's just very helpful information. So I do feel that a lot of the blockages, let's go back on the McDonald's diet for a second. So when you're dealing with emotional baggage and traumas that affect the sacral chakra, your past relationships, childhood experiences, and societal conditioning can impact that severely. Like, let me give you an example of 3 different lifestyles of why people's lives catapult at a different rate. The McDonald's diet person, they're probably on social media watching like videos that are just nonsense videos. Maybe people are riding bikes, maybe it's scenery, maybe you're watching dogs, but pretty much the things that you're consuming, sorry, my phone's gonna die. But pretty much the things and that's just what they're consuming on social media. So also, if they're having conversations with people who are just like, yeah, today sucked and I didn't really have a good day today, and everybody's just ass, and I wish my boss would die, and this coworker, you know what she said. All they do is talk about gossip. They talk about things that are not quote unquote high vibrational, but it's like the words that they're using, they're not uplifting each other in any type of way. And that's just from the food and the people that they talk to. pretty sure that they don't have conversations with themselves. So the narrative and the little voice in their head most likely is going to say negative things, or running back like memes that they saw earlier or videos that they watch. Also, the people that have the McDonald's diet don't usually dream a lot. That's something that I've noticed. People that have a less healthy diet, they do not have a lot of dreams. And in that dream space, it's very crucial for you to have that for creativity. Like if you're someone that's not very imaginative, and I'm not saying that people are not, or you are, or you're not born with it. I think you can condition yourself. And all of us were at that place when we were younger where we were, you know, pretending that pies, that mud pies were real pies. And you know, we would feed like our quote unquote, our fake family when we would play with our friends, when we would play house, we would feed them fake burgers and just pretend. And as we get older, sometimes we have to step into a responsibility role. And that looks like having to take care of your younger brother or sister, having to take care of your parents because they got sick and elderly, having to stay with your grandparents and not necessarily understanding that like why your parents are there. There's traumatic things that are happening in your life. And once you get older, if you don't necessarily attack these things head on and give yourself the answers, God will give you the answers most of the time. But if you're not even looking for the answers, then a lot of your life could kind of seem like things are just karma and this is just how it happens. And yeah, and I don't think that's fair to you guys. I don't think it's fair to the people around you. I know that if you're watching this video, you feel like a fire inside you, or you feel like you don't belong, or you feel like you're at a place where, okay, well, I'm doing everything right, so what else am I missing? And to be honest, if you're someone that's struggling with seeing the future clear, you're most likely struggling with your sacral chakra. A lot of the times you would think it's correlated with your third eye and your crown chakra, but a lot of your creativity comes from your sacral chakra. And if you don't feel desired and you don't feel wanted and you feel like people just don't care about your opinion, most of the times you're in the wrong spaces. But let's go back on the McDonald's diet. I'm sorry, I keep getting off track. We do have like the second tier, which is people who are working on themselves halfway and then not working on themselves halfway. So what that looks like is maybe sometimes you go to church. Maybe sometimes you monitor what you eat. Maybe you're just like, oh, well, you know, I ate a salad earlier, so like I deserve this food. I can be like that sometimes, but most likely I'll starve myself. But anyways, we're not gonna talk about me. So it's just like making decisions and justifying those decisions based off of like the good things that you've done for yourself. And I think a lot of you guys miss the point. This might hit somebody that's like in that area of halfway working on yourself, not working on yourself. The more times that you choose something good and not eating that food and not having like that gossipy conversation and not putting others down and spending time with yourself, the more positive that you can do for yourself will only create more positive in your life. If you are still eating the junk food and still like not caring what you put in your body, and you're not drinking enough water, you don't wash your hair, you don't do like maintenance on your body, you don't do like the small things that could make a difference, most likely you are at a place where you feel like, you know, it goes back and forth. Some days you feel really good and you're like, oh my God, I ate this salad today. And then the next day you're like, oh my God, I don't feel really good. I ate that bag of hot Cheetos, or I ate, you know, for me, it's tacos. I love Mexican food. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Sometimes I still straddle the fence. I was actually talking about eating fried chicken today, and I haven't eaten I've been working on not eating meat for like a while and trying to transition completely into vegan before I'm plant-based. And yeah, cleaning out your body, making sure that you want this for your future, because a lot of the times if you're healing because you want to impress people, you'll always fail. So the person in the middle, you're going to have emotions and blockages come up in a way where it's like, okay, today's a good day and something good happened for me. And then the next day you're like, oh, because something good happened to me yesterday, I don't have to worry about it today. But you do have to worry about it today, especially if it's an opportunity for your future, especially if it's going to help your physical health. And let's talk about the mental for a second and the traumas that we experience, because all of these three people, they experience the same type of traumas. It depends all on how you handle it. It has everything to do with how you handle it. If you're someone that is stuck in a people-pleasing phase, most likely you have an unhealed sacral chakra. You don't feel good enough. You don't feel powerful enough. You don't feel confident enough to put yourself in a position where you can care about yourself more than others. If what you're doing feels good to you at the time and it's not hurting anybody and it's helping your mental, people around you should be like, oh my God, like, don't fuck with this person. They're trying to get their shit together. But if you have people that are just like, damn, like, why? Like, how come every time like we try to hang out or I want to hang out with you and go to the club, you'd rather stay at home and read a book? I don't even want to get into that because we have different type of peoples. But I do feel like if you're someone that is working on yourself and you do find yourself in a place where your energy keeps going back and forth and you keep having this feeling of, maybe I don't belong here. What am I doing wrong? You're at a place where you need to start understanding that the things in front of you are what you asked for. You asked God for this job. You asked God for this relationship. You asked God for this friendship. You asked God for these things. So when you asked for them, did you have a plan for them? And I feel the people that are in like the halfway mark of taking care of themselves and not taking care of themselves fully are also at a place where they're not seeing as much growth because you're not able to have enough discipline to keep things going and say what you were going to do. But you're just like, okay, I don't want that. And that's why it's important for us to get all these chakras in alignment and understand who you are and understand your emotions. Because when you start to do that, you have a clear vision of if things are good for you and if they're not good for you. And an example of that is if you know that you're someone, you got work at 8 o'clock in the morning and you're like, I don't care. I go to sleep every night at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I never, like, my body's fine. I'm going to have to wake up anyways. It doesn't matter what time I go to sleep. Most likely, you are someone that we would say doesn't care about themselves. You are someone that would rather do what you want to, you would rather do what you want to do rather than the right thing to do for yourself. And so you staying up late and you not caring about your sleep actually adds to your life. When you sleep, your body is able to rejuvenate itself on the highest capacity because you're not doing anything but laying there. Like, you don't have any food in your stomach, so don't eat before you go to sleep, because when you don't have food in your stomach, again, your body is able to recover from everything that you've been fucking putting it throughout the whole day. When you're anxious, that's stress on your body and stress on your fascia, and your body recognizes when you store depression and stress and anxiety, and it recognizes that. And if you're someone that's always at a high level of stress and anxiety, then and you're not getting a lot of sleep, there's going to be no way that you're going to feel desirable. There's going to be no way that you feel like you're deserving and worthy of the love that you bring into your life. So you're going to question everything. And you questioning everything, one, it makes other people question you. Like, okay, well, if you have all these things and all these things are coming into your life, why are you questioning yourself all the time? And I think also when you get into a place of, let's talk about this third person where people would consider them healed even if they eat the right food, they can read, they can take care of their bodies and give themselves self-love. We're all going to experience the same type of traumas. Their ex could have walked into a grocery store, or maybe, like a job situation where they just walked off on the job and then they see like the owner of the company walk in, and it's just like, okay, so it depends on how you're going to deal with it. And if you guys don't start asking yourself questions so you can get the answer, you're going to be in this space of, why is this always happening to me, and why am I this person, and how come nothing like this happens, and how come they get to, you're going to be questioning you're asking yourself the wrong questions. The questions that you should be asking are, and it's in a different tone actually, it's, why are these things happening to me? What did I do to get this job, and why did I even want this job in the first place? Or if you're bumping into, again, a significant other that you, or ex-significant other that you weren't planning to bump into, an unhealed sacral chakra is going to be like, oh, fuck, they're in the grocery. And it could go both ways. You could be very disgusted of the person and they talk to you and you just lash out and just like, don't be fucking talking to me. Like, you know what you did to me, nigga. Ah. Okay, unhealed. We don't really need that. That's also unhealed heart. We're not going to talk about it. But, another part of that is like, oh, fuck, they're in the grocery store. Like, they're looking at me. Like, I know that they want me. I know that this is it doesn't sound like that's like toxic, but it is. Move on from your life. If they wanted you, they would come back for you. It's a coincidence in the grocery store. It doesn't mean that you should have a conversation. It doesn't mean you should rehash what happened in the past. It's the universe testing you to see, okay, like, since you're at this place where you're happy, you can enjoy yourself, can I give you more of what you're experiencing right now? So can I give you more of enjoying yourself, and more you taking care of yourself, and more like of these wonderful like opportunities coming into your life? Because if one person that you used to date can come into your life and fuck up your whole day, you got to keep working on it. You got to keep working on it and keep making yourself happy until you don't feel like it bothers you anymore. And I hate to say it, but that's just how it is. If you feel bothered all the time by certain things like that, or bothered by your exes, or bothered by your last job, or bothered by, you know, your connections that you have with certain people, and you're not asking yourself the questions of, okay, how did I contribute to this? How did I contribute to, you know, this connection that's not going to last? Or why am I bothered by this? And sometimes it's not even you being bothered by the person. It's because this person represented a behavior that you probably experienced at a young age. Okay. Ooh, you guys, I've been talking for 30 minutes and we have 3 more points. So let's get to the next one. Techniques for releasing and healing emotional wounds related to the sacral chakra. Various techniques such as journaling, therapy, energy healing, and somatic practices can assist in releasing and healing emotional wounds associated with the sacral chakra. These practices provide a safe space to explore and process emotions, allowing for emotional healing and regrowth. So I will say techniques for releasing and healing emotional wounds. Journaling is great. A lot of the time when you journal, like you remember when they used to make us write, like, you know, write your dreams down and what you remember. I remember I had a college professor. This wasn't even like we were doing this, I think, like in third grade, third grade, of like writing down, like journaling, like, oh, you guys write about, you know, your experience, or write about your, I don't know. They're like, how was your day yesterday? Write about just anything you want to write about. Sometimes people are writing stories. I would write stories all the time. Hope my teachers wouldn't write it. We would have like a writing journal. And I would just write forever. And then I am somebody where my parents, they did neglect me emotionally, and whether it was their fault or not, it's not who's the blame. It's the fact that it happened, right? And how did I cope with that? So I would write journals, like composition book after composition book, writing down my dreams, writing down what I thought. I love B5 at the moment. So, oh my God, Patrick Breeding, Dustin Breeding, Brian, all of them, all 5 of them. Kelly, Cornell, I knew all of them. So I would just journal and write and write and write. I couldn't, like, sometimes I would also like get grounded, so I couldn't use the phone, so I couldn't talk to my friends. And if you're someone that's like me, you don't really have conventional jokes. My jokes don't hit with everybody. They're very personal. They're very like jokes that I make in my head. And not everyone's gonna get it. Okay. And so I had a lot of spending time by myself. My sisters were older than me by like 3.5 years and like 6 years. So they were off doing their own things because, like, obviously, like, I'm a little girl and they grown and they in high school and in college doing their thing. And, you know, I was at home and I wasn't doing anything. But shout out to my sister, Deidre, because she took me places and she gave me a sweet 16 birthday party that was like SpongeBob. I don't know why I love SpongeBob so much, but it was hitting. I watched that all up until high school. If you went to Ingram High School, shout out to Ingram High School, because you guys knew the deal and the drill. Most ratchetest high school in the North End. We had a fight every day. Literally, when I think about it, we were doing like we were growing up as kids, and we had security. Oh, that was a time. It was a time last night. But hear me out. Listen. So you can journal. You can actually go to therapy, you guys. Like, you don't have to watch my videos. I hate to say it. My videos are just here for help and for you to dive in and to figure out who you are and what things are and what they represent and what they look like. I'm just here to give you the information. I think that if you are someone that is constantly for a long time feeling depressed, or constantly for a long time feeling unwanted or unsatisfied. One therapy session is not going to do it. 20 therapy sessions might not do it. Be sure to find the right therapist. Don't go to just any therapist. If you feel like you're someone that's struggling with depression, you probably need to get with a therapist that focuses on depression and mental illness. If you're someone that struggles with like family issues and trauma, there are different therapists out there for different reasons. So don't hesitate and don't feel like your problem isn't out there and can't be worked out with a therapist. Also, we have energy healing. So that's like any type of Reiki healing, any sound bowls, touch therapy, massages, acupuncture, pressure points. Those are going to be very like helpful, especially if you're someone that doesn't like being touched. Sometimes other people's energy is very healing. And I think that we need to touch people more, and we need to understand that like our hands are energy, our feet are energy. These are portals that when we shake someone's hand, we can immediately feel if this is a good person or not, okay? Sometimes you just got to get tuned in, but you're not able to get tuned in if you're always tuned in on your phone and on electronics and watching certain type of, you got to tune in with yourself sometimes by turning everything off, shutting the fuck up, lock yourself in the bathroom or lock yourself in the room, turn all the lights off, okay? You can also do challenges like, if you want to get to know yourself and hear like your true voice and your true thoughts, turn the TV off, turn off all electronics and lights for 3 days and stay in your house for 3 days. I'm somebody that could stay in my house for like a week. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If there's things here and I wanted to spend my money, because it's not right, but if I wanted to spend my money on ordering like groceries and food, I could be here. There's everything that I need here. There's everything that I need here. I got crystals, I got books, I can sleep. Oh my God, but okay, of course we always have to do something. So let's talk about somatic healing. Somatic healing is a treatment focused on the body and how emotions appear in the body. So what are different types of somatic healing techniques? Breathing exercises, dancing, mindfulness, and other body movements. So belly dancing is going to be wonderful. You just doing twerking. You know, people are having issues with twerking. Twerking releases the trauma. You guys don't know, but if you are a person, which you are, some of the trauma can be handed down from the mama. We all come from the mama, from the mother earth, okay? From the womb. And I wanted to let you know. So I just want to let you know that that trauma can sometimes come from your mother. Sometimes she's going through it. Postpartum depression, I feel, this is just what I'm saying. I feel that postpartum depression, that the babies can feel it. I feel that the babies know when the mom is depressed. The babies know when, especially if the mom's been depressed for a long time. The children know that, and most likely, I haven't done studies on children, but I feel like the children that suffer from the mothers having postpartum are usually the kids that are very in tune with what's going on in the world. Like, not saying that the mothers who are loving their kids are not connected in the world, but because these kids at an early age had to like pretty much find things that make them feel good that's not their mother, because their mother's not breastfeeding, they almost had to find other ways and different passage and wave patterns. I'm like, someone connect me or correct me in the comments, or scientists, okay? Scientists in the comments below. But I have a feeling that these children, they just have different senses because they're not around the mother all the time. They're not next to the heartbeat. They're not close to the mom. They're not sucking right off of the nipple where they're getting like straight nutrients. And these kids, I feel, have to kind of be more observant with their eyes than with their emotions. And they experience things at a different level. So these are people who are probably like very analytical. They don't really see like a lot of empathy in things. Like, things have to be shown to them. And yeah, this is just my hypothesis, so don't quote me on it. I'm just giving you guys something that I found interesting. What other techniques do we have? Let's see. Belly dancing. Get a hula hoop. If you guys don't know what to do, when I say just do things that are outside of yourself, and you're wondering like, oh my God, these people are such great skaters. They probably just picked up some skates one day and was like, I would like to skate. Or I just wanted to pick up a paintbrush and a pencil and pen. And then you start becoming an expert on it. You just got to dive in sometimes. It doesn't matter how much you know, because how many times have you been in situations and you thought you knew something? And if you guys said no, because you're somebody that always feels like you're prepared for what's going through, when that last job that you had and you looked through the job description and you thought that it was what it was and it wasn't, yeah, we're talking about you. You too, boo. It comes in whether you thought the woman or the nigga was right for you, or you thought that this food that you was about to eat was good for you. Maybe you should have, you're looking at directions. I know the directions, and then out of nowhere, there's a detour. So it's kind of like we know through life already that there's going to be instances that we cannot control. So how about you can control the fun in your life, and you don't always need money, because I hate to say it, a lot of the people that are going on like these trips and putting things on their credit cards, why do you have to leave to have fun? Just make your home the oasis. I would love to go on a vacation, but I don't constantly need to go on a vacation and go out and feel like I'm somebody that's missing something, because I can enjoy myself right here. Just sit down for a second. Stop analyzing everybody so much. Stop feeling like you are supposed to be somewhere when you're not, because when you're supposed to move, God will tell you to move, okay? My hair's real puffy on this side. I'm trying to see what's going on. Hold on. Gotta wait for my tea to settle. But yeah, so these are just some techniques. You guys can also, some sound therapy would be good. And I will like to say, a lot of the times, the reason why we feel the way we do is because I heard of something that's called CPTSD, chronic, post-traumatic syndrome. And you just been going through trauma after trauma after trauma. You didn't know how to heal. You don't know what to do. Most people put a mask on and like, everything's okay, everything's fine. And everything's not fine, and it's not going to be okay. Don't let people talk to you crazy. You don't talk to people crazy, but you don't let people talk to you crazy either. I don't care if you're trying to be a nice person or you're trying to let the water under the bridge. Either you say something. It doesn't have to be rude. You can just say, hey, I didn't deserve that, or hey, I don't really know you. You don't get to speak to me like that, or hey, that's my boundary. But don't let people just constantly disrespect you and put false narratives on you, especially if you're someone that's trying to heal. Let everyone know that you're trying to heal. And not everyone, but you get what I'm saying. The people that care about you, they're going to care. The people that are, you'll know. Tell people like, hey, I'm just really like in like my healing phase right now, and I don't really know what the future's going to look like or how it's going to represent itself or anything like that. So I just really would love you to be patient with me. Sometimes we don't even have those conversations. My friend hits me up sometimes and I don't talk to her for like a month. And she's like, oh, sorry, girl, I was just going through it. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, girl, do what you need to do. But we're going to talk about it eventually. So find a safe space or a person that you feel like you can share with, because that's going to be like the overall thing that keeps you sane, okay? Like, you need a safe space to share and for people to validate like the fucked up things that you've been through. I hate to say it, but like as people, it's very gaslighting for you to say, oh my God, I went through all this stuff, and then a relationship and the person's like, oh, that's fucked up. Or like they caused the trauma for you and they're like, oh, that's fucked up. Yes, bitch, I know what's fucked up. You did it, ho. And that's why we're not together no more. And that's why I talk to people just straight from, look, you probably don't want to hear this, but get over it. Because you trying to have a conversation with me right now that's not about you hurting me doesn't do anything for me. Don't let people come back into your life after they did you wrong and think that they can explain their life and shit that's happened and all the things that are going wrong in their life. Who cares? Let's cut it off right there. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, journaling exercises for self-reflection and emotional healing. Journaling can be a powerful tool for self-reflection and emotional healing. Through journaling exercises focused on the sacral chakra, individuals can explore more of their emotions, identify patterns, and gain insights into their own emotional well-being. So yes, you guys, write. I know it sounds redundant. I know it sounds annoying. I know it sounds like it's something that may not work, but you've tried everything else, haven't you? You tried self-help books. You tried You tried self-help books, you've tried paying a therapist, you've tried fucking it out of yourself, you know what I'm saying? You tried being a hoe for a little bit, you tried being a slut for a little bit. And what I'm trying to tell you is none of these things are going to work until you find out what works for you. But if there's things that you're just like, oh, that's not going to work, that's not going to work, that's probably the thing that's going to work, because literally I'm telling you, you tried everything else, and that's why you're here watching my videos. I love you. Okay, I'm just being truthful. Right. Sorry, you guys. There's some people pulling up. I know people's getting off of work. You just got to be very wary. Okay. So journaling. Let me give you some journaling exercises that you can do. One, you can just open up that journal and just start talking. Just start talking. Just, you know what? I feel like no one ever understands me. I feel like everybody that I meet always, you know, like creates drama in my life. Who cares what it is? Just write it down. And then if you're somebody that kind of needs something to be prompted to do, because again, you writing is going to help with the creativity, but some people don't really know where to start. So we'll, you know, pretend it's second grade. I want you to go to your journals and write about an experience where other people didn't believe you and how that made you feel, and then what did you do about it. So write a prompt on a time where people didn't believe you on something and how it made you feel and what you did about it. And if you did nothing about it, that might be a sign that you're holding and harboring in some energies that, you know, are still in there, that are still stagnant, that you're not really ready to let go of. And maybe that's why you judge people, and maybe that's why you people please, is because you're at a place where you're just letting people walk all over you, and you can't do that. Okay, I love you guys too much. So that's one journal prompt that you can do. Also, you can write a letter to your younger self. I did that with my client. Writing a letter to your younger self, writing a letter to your teenage self, writing a letter to your young adult self, writing letters to people that you don't want to talk to in real life. Like, hey mom, I know that we have a fucked up relationship. You never call me, you never text me, however you want to feel about it. You neglected me, you know, even though you're like my adopted mother, blah, 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 all that extra stuff. So you guys just really need to just start journaling. It doesn't really matter what it is. Get your pen and paper, get some paper, and just go ahead and start writing. Again, this is a free write. And I know in school they told you free write. And I hate to say it, some of the teachers, shout out Miss Rainwater, shout out Miss Dahlstrom, shout out Mr. What was his name? Mr. Breland, shout out Miss Jackson. These were the teachers that I found put me in a position. Is there anybody? Mr. Mead or Mr. Reed. He was a white guy in an all-black school. He was the only white teacher. Shout out to you, my brother. He came in with a North Face. Everybody's like, what the fuck is this jacket he got on? He were like, yeah, it's made out of recycled plastic bottles and cans. We got on his ass, boy. We got on his head. We're like, nigga, recycle this. Nigga's wearing trash. Okay, so anyways, shout out to you teachers. I was like during young. And Mrs. Williams, she was my black second grade teacher. Miss Pinchback, my third and fourth grade teacher. Miss Rainwater, my fifth grade teacher. Miss Jackson, Mr. Mead, and I forget what her name was. She was okay though. She's been there for a long time. I don't know if she has a very weird energy connecting with kids. I forget what her name was. And Mr. Breland, and good luck to you, Miss Bird. She was another white teacher that I had when I was in middle school, and she called my mom on me because this girl was picking on me. So, and she sent me to the office, and she knew that this girl was picking on me behind my back, and I stood up for myself, and she knew the whole time that they were like making fun of me or creating something. And teachers, I'm gonna let you know, you guys need to start. I understand that you don't like being at work, or, you know, work is stressful for you. How about you make your jobs easier and more efficient? And I hate to say it, I am a teacher, so I'm not even gonna make your assignments more. I know that you have a criteria, but when it comes to paying attention to the students, there are literally kids who get bullied that you guys look over and you're like, oh, I'm not going to do anything about that. We remember you guys. And I hate to say it, but every teacher that has kind of made me, it's like it made me who I was as a person, but it also made me feel like I can't trust authority because they're not even going to help you. And that's why a lot of the times you guys are in this situation, you're looking for somebody to help you. You're looking for the wrong people to help you, because most likely it's not going to be the person of authority. It's going to be the person right next to you. And that's why it's good to be nice to your neighbor. Be attentive to the friends who care about you. Stop trying to impress people who don't care about you. I hate to say it, everyone has the same generic ass help, and oh, I think you could do this and you'd be really great at this, but they don't walk you through the process. You know who walked me through the processes? Motherfuckers who was with me doing the test with me, motherfuckers who was right next to me. I remember I had friends who stood up for me that teachers would have never did, and teachers are supposed to be the ones to do the right thing. So yeah, Miss Bird, I hope you're having a really interesting life, and I hope that you help some kids in different areas more than you helped me, because it's your job to kind of protect kids if you're in school, and you're in a Black school, so if you can't handle it, get the fuck out the kitchen. Okay, I hope she sees this as well. She's probably not gonna remember me, but I hope she sees this. I'm like, is there anything else? We have so much. Am I even on the right topic? Okay, yeah, so we talked about journaling. Just do any type of journaling. I feel like shit today. I want to kill my mom. I slap the shit out of a bird. Whatever you want to put in there, it's a start, okay? And then we'll come back to it. The last thing that we're going to talk about, because we have like kind of a long video today, creating practices to stimulate the chakra energy. Engaging in creative practices such as painting, dancing, writing, or playing an instrument can help stimulate the sacral chakra energy. These practices allow for self-expression, the release of emotions, and the cultivation of a vibrant and balanced sacral chakra. I want to let you guys in on a little thing. When you guys start to do things with your hands and you start to be creative, it creates an energy that creates a vibration that sends out into the universe. And that's why a lot of the time when you're minding your business, that's the time when people like are focused on you the most. Like you get that phone call, you're like, oh my gosh, like, why is my mom calling? Why is my grandma calling? Like, why is my dad? Da, da, da. Everybody's on your ass because you're creating a frequency. With you creation is a really strong frequency. I don't know what hertz or energy or frequency it creates, but when you start to create, it is a really strong energy. You're literally disconnected from everything that you thought of that was creating its own energy, and you're creating a new vibrational frequency as you're doing the creating, which sends out a signal to the universe that, hey, you may be time to rev that engine up. Okay, I'm getting crazy. I love you guys. But yeah, just do some painting. You don't have to be good at painting. You don't have to be great at painting. Just do something. Like, no one's judging you here. And if you keep judging yourself, again, that writing and understanding who put these narratives in your head, you don't have, who said you had to be a great writer? Who said you had to be a great, painter? And a lot of the times the people who are great painters, writers, actresses, whatever they are, they had to start somewhere. So I just want you guys to realize that starting somewhere is always going to be hard, but the more that you do it, it's going to become normal to you. These things are normal to me, talking to you guys, messing up, not editing my videos. I've tried this over and over and over, and this works for me because I put in so much work trying to be perfect, and it's always failed because I'm not perfect, and we're not perfect as people. I want it to show up on time, things to go smoothly, people having conversations with me that I thought in my head that they should go, everyone be happy, I should make money from this. And I did everything right. And sometimes I didn't even make any money. Sometimes I did the video and I couldn't even post the video because I didn't have the right phone or I didn't have the right format. So sometimes God is and when you're in this phase of creating and understanding yourself, God is going to test you, okay? She is going to put you in situations and be like, do you really want that? Are you really trying for this? How consistent can you be? Can you be someone, like, you say that you wanted this, you said that you wanted a new life, you said you wanted to heal your sacral chakra, you said you want to start working on your energy, but are you invested into it? Are you disciplined enough to do it? Are you capable of the things that you said that you wanted to bring in your life, and are you able to keep them? Because if I give them to you and you don't take care of it, it's going to be a while for you. Now you have to create a new formula, because you going back into the things that you used to do, it doesn't do it for you anymore. You don't feel fulfilled by just drawing a painting. You did it once or twice here. You didn't see any results. Okay, fuck it. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm not good at this. You give up on yourself, and you give up on the chance of you creating a space for yourself where you can feel welcome, where you can use this place as, I don't care what's happening to me, when I'm in this place and when I'm in my zone, I understand myself, I love myself, I give back to myself. And that's the only thing that matters when it comes to you trying to live a better life and you to get to that third pillar, that third tier of you living the healthy lifestyle that you need. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Again, I do a lot of talking. I also try to give you guys different perspectives because healing is not a process. Like, if you've ever thought of healing as an easy process or it should be dandy and flowers and all this, think about if you fell and scraped your knee, the healing process from that. Yeah, first you got to get the dirt off. That hurts. Okay. Get the dirt off so we can see the wound. Secondly, we got to treat the wound. So first we might treat it with water, and then we might do an antiseptic, and then we might have alcohol or whatever it is. And you guys need to understand that alcohol and all the shit that hurts and all like, oh, it aches and oh, fuck, all the extra stuff. When you get that bandage on, you better not take your ass back outside and think that everything's cool and you play around with the same people who pushed you over. Okay, if people push you over to get that scar and you just heal from it, stop playing around outside with the same people, because they're going to do it again, and it might be the right knee. It might be the face. It might be something that you actually care about. So stop playing around and stop fucking with it, and stop fucking with people that don't have your best interest. I love you guys most. This is Coco, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.